Hey guys, it's Nick. So today I'm going to show you how to start a loop in Dotloop, a purchase loop. So I'm going to share my screen with you, follow my screen. So I'm going to go into Dotloop. This will be your login screen. You're going to see all your active loops that you're working on. You're going to want to go top right hand corner, add loop, and you're going to give it a name. So in a purchase loop, if you haven't identified a property, I would put the buyer's names. First buyer, second buyer, and their last name. But this one, I'm going to pretend that we have a property already picked out. Say, I guess I just got through a round of showings and they said, yep, let's write an offer. New client. So I'm going to open up the MLS in another window. I always have the MLS open in another window when I start a loop because I'm going to need some data from the MLS to put into my detail screen. So I have my loop open. And we're going to use 2122 8th Street. You see it's a pending that we have, but say this is the loop they want to write an offer on. And so I'm going to use that address, 2212 8th Street. And it should populate as you fill it out. Let's see, 2212 8th Street Southeast. And that's East Grand. There you go. See it. Google Maps popped it in. So you're going to select that. Hit continue. It's going to ask you what loop type. So be sure you get this right. Otherwise, you just have to archive the loop and start a new one. So this is a Minnesota property. So it's going to be a Minnesota residential purchase. As you can see, we have Grand Forks forms, Fargo forms, and some other Minnesota variations of forms. We're going to call it Minnesota residential purchase and hit continue. And if you have a photo of the property, you can upload that here. Sometimes I do it later if I don't have it readily available, and hit done, and then it creates the loop for us. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is put the status in. What status is this loop? This loop for me is pre-offer. We haven't written anything yet, and no sale price. So I'm going to go to view loop on the right side. Okay, so on the top of the loop, you'll see our statuses that we chose. First thing you're going to want to do is go into the view details screen. So hit view details right below the address. And this is where you're going to populate in most of the data you need to start. So go down to property address, verify that that's right. Polk County MLS number if it has one. So MLS number on this one is going to be 182092. So 182092. Tax and parcel ID. So what I usually do with a tax and parcel ID is, as you know, the MLS can be garbage in, garbage out. So I really like to I do every time verify the tax information on the county site. So this is Polk County. We're just going to walk through it while I have you. Polk County, Minnesota assessors. And we're going to look up the property, real estate search. You should have in your, I use Google Chrome, whatever browser you're using, you should have all these county sites bookmarked so you can get at them very easily. So what I'm going to do is I usually search by property house number. So 2122 and just hit search because I hate entering in so much information. So we're going to look 2122 8th Street Southeast. It's right here. So I'm going to click on that record. And we see the parcel ID right up in the top. So you can just, usually, depending on the site, you could just copy the parcel ID right from the tax site. And I'll put the parcel ID in right there. Financials, we don't know a purchase price yet. Commission split, you don't need to know that. Title fees. So Dotloop has pre-built in some of these detail factors, these items of detail, and a lot of them we don't use. I got rid of everything I could get rid of, but there are some detail, I'm not sure what word I'm looking for, detail items that are just going to be in here. That doesn't mean you have to use them, but use all the pertinent ones because those will populate into your forms as you create form suites in Dotloop. So offer price, you don't have to put the price in, don't have to put anything in yet. Let's keep scrolling down. Contract dates. Contract agreement date is going to be the date you write the contract. So you can either put it in now or you can wait. Some people prep contracts before, so you can put the date in the day you prep the contract. Closing date, of course, is closing date. Property includes, if you want to put personal property in, it'll populate into the form for you, or property excluded, which we don't see very much of, but it does happen. And then legal description. So legal description is another important one. I'm going to go back to the county site and I'm going to pull the legal description, which is right here. So you're going to go Maplewood First Edition, copy that, paste that right in the loop, hit save. Okay. You're going to want to add your people in the loop, and they'll populate as buyers or sellers. So you're going to add a person, which will be your client. On this one, of course, it's a buyer or two buyers. Every buyer has to have their own account. By account, I mean email address. So they can't sign from one email. Two people can't sign from one email address, obviously, for security reasons. So they'll have to have their own email addresses. If not, you can print the forms, have them signed, or do an in-person signing on an iPad if you want. That works too. So you're going to put the buyers in here. I'm not going to add any buyers. Put their email in. Make sure it's first name, middle initial, and last name. As we know when we write contracts, middle initial is important. And you're going to select a role. So you're going to have buyer, obviously, or you can put the lender in here as well if you want to send docs to the lender, title, so on and so forth. You can add as many people as you want to a loop, whoever you're sharing information with. So the loop is private to you. So even if you add a person to the loop, they don't get to see everything you have unless you add them as a team member right here, add to my team. So say there are two agents that are working together on the loop as a list and a co-list. If you want to be able to see everything that each other is doing, which is ideal in those situations, click add to my team. So anyone on that team, so to speak, team, I use quotations because we use the word team a lot in real estate. Team just means you're sharing the entire loop with them. Do you want to add an agent outside of your company to the team? Probably not. You want to add only people that want to see can or have access to all the docs that you're putting in the loop. So I would suggest assistants, or like I said, a cold list, or maybe a transaction coordinator. Okay, but that's at your discretion. Just know when you click someone to add someone to your team, it shares everything. So otherwise, you don't have to do that way. Okay, so we added our people. Now we're going to go back to the loop again. So we have all our docs in here. Another thing I built in here is action items. So when we prep a contract for a purchase, there are always certain things that we do on every file. Okay, and I try to build these lists to help you remember what you need to do and not have to recreate it every time you do it. So obtain property disclosure and alternatives. You may look at these and you may say, yeah, I know that's a given, that's redundant, but don't just check it off then. Don't worry about it. So you can check the boxes as you do it. Obtain private sewer well map if applicable. And this is an in-town property, so it's not applicable. You can just hit delete. We don't need that task item. Pull entire MLS history. When I say pull entire MLS history, I don't necessarily mean you can print it all out, put it in the loop, which you can. As if it's a PDF, you can put anything in here. But make sure you're reviewing the MLS history to see what's going on with the property, because the last thing you want to do, especially in the Grand Forks MLS, is get caught not researching the property because it was relisted. Grand Forks doesn't readily show properties that get relisted as a cumulative day. You have to actually search the address and see, oh, there was a listing period already. Just make sure you're doing your due diligence for your client. Pull your tax record. So we looked at the tax record. What I would do is, you see here, especially in Polk County, property report file. So I would click the report file and I would download this. So you can see all the property report. So you're going to hit the download button. I use a Mac. Your computer may be different for download, but then I'll just call it 8th Street tax report. Remember, tax report and tax record are two different things. So I'm going to actually download the tax record as well, because or a statement. I want to see a tax statement for the property. So we're going to hit save. Okay, so it's saved in the bottom left-hand corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to the loop. So I created some folders in here for you. So I would put that under MISC property docs. So I'm going to add a document. Okay, and it's going to be right here in my download file. Boom, saving. So now I have tax report in here. Another thing you're going to want to do is download the tax record. And here we go, or tax statement, excuse me. I keep saying record, but it's statement. So you can, Polk County has a number of years available. So in 20, I'll download the most recent. You can go 2 years if you want, if you think it's important. So I'm going to download the tax statement as well. I'm going to hit save. 8th statement. Hit save. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into Dotloop again. I'm going to add this document as well. It just shows the client, if you have this information readily available, that you've done your research and they have made a great decision in trusting you to help them purchase this property. Just get everything you can as far as documents. So I have a tax statement, I have a tax report. You're going to want to start with your representation docs. I always put those on top. So we went through. So I have a property disclosure. I have the MLS history. I have tax record. Call City County Association to verify specials balance and inquire about pending projects. This is really important, guys. You have to do this every time. Call the appropriate authority, I'm going to say, to check for pending projects. It could be an association. We just had one where we didn't realize there was another agent didn't realize there was a roof assessment coming 3 weeks after closing. So what do you think happened? It got a little messy between the buyer and seller and the agencies because this wasn't readily done. So check the boxes when you do them. And request utility totals. Of course, we always want to request utility totals because we like to know the buyer's expense on a property. And so that's part of your service that you provide. So pull utility totals. So let's just say we've done this. I did this and I did that. Then you go into your documents and you can start pre-filling your documents. So agency is easy. Those are just signatures, buyer rep, compensation disclosure. This is a Minnesota, so we have a compensation disclosure and some other required documents in here. Just start on the top and start. So you can open the agency, look at the agency, make sure the signature spots are right. So you're going to say, okay, this signature spot, you're going to assign this field to who? And your buyers that you put in the system are going to be up here. So you're going to just click on them, assign to Bill and assign to Mary. Okay. And on the bottom, make sure you go through the entire document, initial Bill, initial Mary. And so that doc will be done. Make sure to hit save every time. So it doesn't auto save in Dotloop. You want to hit save. So your agency will be done. I would just keep going down the list. You may have these agency docs already done. Maybe you met them in person at a coffee shop, which I hope you did. Met them ahead of time, established some rapport. You can put a PDF of these documents in the system. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add a document and you're going to browse for it. So you either scanned it to yourself and saved it on the desktop, or maybe it came in via email. So what you can do is you can email documents right into Dotloop. I don't know if you knew you can do that, but say you scan to email. So say our scanner sent you an email with the scan docs, or another agent sent you a document or a group of documents. You can forward those right into the loop. And this address is the specific address for this particular folder in this particular loop. So you can just click and save this, save it to your clipboard, Command C for using a Mac. Command C, and then you're going to find the email that's applicable to this. So I can't find one right now, but just find the email, put it in the address, hit forward on that email, put it in the address, and hit send. And then give it a minute. So depending on how big the doc is, it's going to take a minute to get into the loop. So what you're going to want to do is go up to the top of the loop and refresh it. You can refresh it, and it'll appear. And it'll appear with the title of the document that the document had when you forwarded it. So you can change that. So if you want to change the document title, say I forwarded in a document and it was APHW input sheet, you can open the document and go up to the title, ignore the autofill, go up to the title and change it. So say it's APHW input sheet 2, enter. Okay, hit enter and then go back and then it should be changed. We scroll down, there you go. Okay, so that's how you start a loop, and that's how you start working on your documents. Remember, when you open a loop, do the view details first, put in all the pertinent details, all the client name, information, email, everything you're gonna need for the loop if you have it, put it in there first, because then that'll auto-populate in your forms as you go. Can you add people later and details later? Absolutely. You can open the form and you can hit repopulate, and it'll repopulate in what you need. But that's how to start a loop. If you have any questions, reach out to me directly or call our administrative helpline and we'll get you set up. Have a great day.